From the studio that made Barakamon one of the greatest wholesome slice-of-life shows, and Shield Hero, a show with arguably one of the worst female characters, comes the Cinderella story My Happy Marriage. Born into an arranged marriage, Miyo was discarded after her mother's tragic death since her father remarried. Her younger half-sister, Kaya, received all the affection while Miyo was degraded to a lowly servant. Lacking the strength to fight against her family's abuse, misery seemed everlasting in Miyo's life. However, a friend of hers named Koji always tries to brighten her day and promises to save her, which somewhat made me cringe. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice notion, but at a certain point, it seemed like the guy was suffering from a savior complex.
I only ever wanted to save you.
I want to save you from this place. I'm going to save her.
Stop it. Get some help.
Funny enough, the dude soon finds out that he is not him. Enter Kyoka Kudo. Miyo's father summoned her to deliver surprising news. She was to marry Kyoka Kudo, the head of the distinguished Kudo family. Despite his noble background, Kyoka is known to be a cold-hearted, cruel man who has thus far dismissed all of his former fiancés. So, upon arriving at the Kudo household, Miyo expects nothing but harsh treatment and to be tossed aside. However, contrary to her assumptions, Kyoka shows her the kindness and love she desperately needs. Thus, marrying Kyoka is Miyo's chance to break free from her neglectful family.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
This brings us to the next point, the characters. It wasn't a big surprise that the most hated character of 2023 so far comes from Kinema Studio. One look at forums about the show, and it's safe to say that Kaya hate is spreading like lice in a kindergarten. That said, the character deserving the most hate is the stepmother, and we will get to that in a bit. Regarding the male characters, first is Koji, the childhood friend. Simply put, he's a good boy but no best boy. You see, as the show progressed, it was apparent that the man lacked conviction, which made him come off as a limp dick loser regardless of how good he is.
It's over. I'm a joke.
On the other end of the spectrum, Kyoka is undoubtedly the best boy. Basically, he's a way better version of Koji. Every move he makes is calculated and perfectly executed. Kyoka is a calm, collected Rizwiz.
You feel normal.
I feel fine. I don't have a fever.
You're sure about that?
It's just,
Also, you have Kazushi, Koji's bigger brother, who is more laid back and free-spirited than the other two characters. His philosophy so far is not to interfere in others' problems and to live freely.
When things are complicated, sometimes it's better to keep your nose out of them.
While on the other hand, Go-Duo does the opposite. He is the main man's trusty subordinate, and as such, he doesn't shy away from freely speaking his mind and trolling his buddy. To put it short, Go-Duo is a Chad. Every scene he has with another character is pleasant, and although he seems like a goofball, his actions and interactions with others improve their character. Not to mention, he keeps Kyoka grounded and humanizes him whenever they are wearing their uniform. Speaking about wearing a uniform, something I didn't expect for an anime called My Happy Marriage is to have a political and supernatural theme. If we're being honest, the supernatural theme isn't that bad, as it pushes the show from being another boring romance anime. For example, it was both satisfying and hype the moment Kyoka electrified the head of the Tatsuihi family. That aside, I'm also intrigued to see how the political aspects of the show will pan out and affect the relationship of the main couple. Spoiler alert, turns out that Miyo's mother was a descendant of an infamous family that possesses power more than any of the current prestigious families. The Usuba family is known for their powerful abilities that can manipulate the human psyche. However, the whereabouts of the clan are unknown. But don't let all that dark stuff deter you from watching the show if you're looking for a good romance, as this anime is very fucking wholesome. After all, My Happy Marriage, at its core, is about an abused girl finding happiness by her Prince Charming's side. It's a Cinderella story told from a Japanese anime perspective. You have Miyo, obviously Cinderella, Kyoka as the prince, and Madame Yuri as the fairy godmother. while Koji is the baker and his wife is Cinderella's older sister. Bringing us to the next point. Hate her as much as you want. The bitch will have a redemption arc eventually. Unlike the mother, who will remain unredeemed since she is evil by nature. Kaya was the outcome of her guidance, so there might be room for improvement with her new job as a servant, where she will experience the life Miyo was in. Now that I look at it from this perspective, Cinderella's dead father could be kin to Miyo's father losing interest in her once her mother died and she got passed as a talentless person. Thus, his saying, "I don't care what happens to her, even if she dies," now makes sense. Miyo lost her father long ago. I just hope the new guy who got introduced to the story in episode 8 doesn't pull a Griffith move. Side note, I watched the show dub. The dub is good. Do give it a try.